What if the safest looking part of the economy, housing, isn't the fuse, it's the fallout? Everyone's scanning mortgage rates. Almost nobody's watching margin debt, passive flows into mega caps, or how fast liquidity disappears when the herd runs. Today, why experts saying no 2008 repeat are right about housing and still missing the bigger risk. I'll map the 5-stage framework, credit explosion to trigger, and show you the exact signals to track so you don't get blindsided in 2026 when the market seizes and housing gets caught in the crossfire. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. If the data says housing is fine, why do pros keep whispering about 2026 like it's a storm with no clouds? Because the weather app is looking at your roof, not the flood in the street. Here's the thing. The common take is clean and boring. Lending is tight. Homeowners have big equity cushions. Loan-to-value ratios are low, and we've underbuilt starter homes for more than a decade. That kills the classic bubble script. No wave of zero-down teaser loans. No mass of borrowers who can't qualify. Inventory is thin, demand is sticky, and construction never caught up. But here's the catch. Stability in housing can hide fragility everywhere else. The safer the mortgage book, the more we ignore the pipes that move cash through the system. It's like your house is brick, but the street is a sinkhole. The problem isn't your foundation. It's the road that's collapsing under the neighborhood, cutting off deliveries, fire trucks, everything you rely on without thinking. Post-2008 underwriting is strict. You need real income, real assets, real reserves. Most owners locked in sub 4% rates during the free money era and have no reason to list unless life forces it. Inventory stays chronically low. That's why you don't see forced selling lining up. Delinquencies aren't screaming, and the refinance wave already happened when money was cheap. Even with rates around 7%, prices keep grinding because supply refuses to show up. Go walk the data where jobs are steady and the pipeline of new builds is thin. Prices hold. Rents keep compounding even as transactions slow to a crawl. You see landlords renewing at higher rents, not fire selling. Days on market stretch a bit, but they're not skyrocketing. It looks calm on the surface because in housing, it is. Let that sink in. Now note the pockets that can wobble. Where affordability is stretched to snapping and payrolls depend on a handful of employers, you can get air pockets, 10% down here, flat to negative there. Insurance spikes and property taxes can turn owners into reluctant sellers even without a job loss. That's not a national crash. That's a local bruise. Painful if it's your ZIP code, but not systemic by itself. So here's the twist. The risk map lights up outside the front door. Think 5-stage framework, high level. Stage 1 is the credit explosion. Stage 2 is the concentration trap. Both are flashing while mortgages snore. The leverage build isn't in 30-year fixed loans. It's in the market's shadow. Margin debt, securities-based lending, and all the quiet, rehypothecated plumbing that whistles until it snaps. Margin debt is the obvious headline, but the bigger animal hides in securities-based loans. Portfolios get pledged as collateral, draw cash, and chase more assets. Prices rise, collateral looks stronger, more credit gets extended. Then a drawdown hits, and it flips. Collateral shrinks, lenders call, and selling becomes automatic. There's no conversation, no, let's work this out. It liquidates. That reflex is the fuse. Add the derivative layer. Short-dated options and embedded leverage mean dealers hedge in real time. A slide in the safe names hits liquidity first because that's where all the passive dollars pooled. It looks diversified on paper, but flows keep feeding the same tickers. When flows reverse, the bids evaporate in the exact place most people think is bulletproof. So if housing isn't patient zero, where's the virus? Follow the credit into the most crowded trade of our era. The exit is narrow, the crowd is huge, and when someone yells fire, the selling doesn't knock. It breaks the door. What if the safest stocks are actually the liquidity exit everyone runs through at once? Sounds backward, right? But that's the setup. The index you think is diversified is basically a funnel. New dollars get auto-routed to the same small cluster of megacaps because that's how passive works. Bigger weights pull more flow. Prices rise, weights rise, more flow. It looks like stability. It's momentum dressed up as safety. But here's the catch. When volatility wakes up, those passive flows don't debate. They flip. ETFs redeem. Market makers hedge. The bids in those safe names go thin, fast. A calm dip can morph into a drain because the system is wired to sell the biggest and most liquid first. Liquidity hides in the headline names on the way up and disappears from them first on the way down. So, micro scenario. One of the top 5 slips 3% by lunch. No scandal. Just a miss on a whisper number and a risk-off tone. Short-dated options positioning forces dealers to chase delta. They sell futures. They sell the basket. Depth at the top of book vanishes. That 3% becomes 4.5% because the hedges push against a shallow pool. ETFs tied to that index redeem units, which triggers more selling of the same names inside. Now correlated names slide, not because of fundamentals, but because they're in the same baskets and the hedging trees connect. You get mechanical pressure slamming into mechanical pressure. Feedback loop engaged. We've seen this movie with different costumes. In 1987, portfolio insurance sold into decline and fed the fall. In 2000, index-heavy tech names pulled the market because too much capital sat in the same few hopes and dreams. In 2008, leverage met collateral calls and the unwind steamrolled everything. Different triggers, same liquidity math. Concentrated exposure, pro-cyclical hedging, forced sellers. Layer in securities-based lending. Your portfolio becomes the collateral. When prices drop, margin calls don't ask, they liquidate. The custodian doesn't care that you love the company or that it's long-term. The line gets trimmed by selling the most liquid pieces first, which, again, are the mega caps. That liquidation hits the index weights, which drags the index, which sparks more hedging. That's how a garden variety red day turns into a self-feeding sell program. Now add today's spice. Margin debt has swelled, and options notional in short-dated contracts sits at eye-watering levels. Dealers' gamma can sit positive and cushion moves until it flips negative. Then their hedging amplifies every tick. Up becomes down, slow becomes fast. You can feel the tape get jumpy when that switch flips, like a traffic light stuck on yellow while everyone floors it anyway. Tie it back to the 5-stage framework. Credit explosion funnels credit into market collateral, not mortgages. Concentration follows as passive flows crown a handful of names. Then you get smart money exit. Breadth thins out. Insiders sell into strength while retail and passive flows keep auto-buying through paycheck contributions. It's quiet, it's polite, it's ruthless. So what's the payoff? A market stacked on a few giants becomes a liquidity time bomb. When the top-heavy tree sways, pros de-risk into the strength they created, and passive is left catching the falling knife because the flows are rules-based. Into 2026, don't obsess over median home price prints. Watch breadth. Watch insider activity. When leadership narrows and sellers upstairs get busy, that's your tell long before a mortgage headline hits your feed. Okay, we've found the fuse. Now let's map the blowback. How a market seizure starves housing of liquidity without a single mortgage going toxic, and why banks and lenders tighten even when your neighbor's payment is still fixed at 3 point something.